Marisol, thank you so much for being with us here today. We've had a lot of different viewers writing in from the Chicago area wanting to know about ABA services in Chicago. And of course, I'm a huge fan of CARD because you guys, the CARD offices, gave me my child back. So first and foremost, I'm always going to recommend CARD. If you're close enough to a CARD office, it's a great place to go. But I want to have you talk a little bit about the Chicago office, because you guys have some amazing things going on there. Tell us a little bit about what you do there in Chicago.
Well, aside from managing the daily operations like staffing, scheduling issues, and insurance questions and that, I'm also an advocate for CARD in our community. And what I mean by that is I'm a strong believer in CARD and what we do. The difference that we make in kids' lives, it's a message that I want to share with our community. And so I've made it a point to reach out to like hospitals, providers, some of the other schools to inform them of what CARD is and what we have to offer, so that they look to us as a resource for effective treatment for autism.
Absolutely. You guys are doing a great job there. And tell us, because each CARD office around the world has very unique traits about it. And I'm very impressed with the Chicago office. What's unique about you guys that our viewers should know about?
I think first and foremost would be that we're operating on a zero wait list. So we're ready to take kids as soon as tomorrow. But the two other notable things that I think are unique about Chicago is our staff and our network. A lot of our staff, when they come to work for CARD, you could just tell, from the first day forth that they're here for the long haul. Mm-hmm. They're very dedicated. I think 7 of our therapists are currently seeking their BCBAs. So they're in school and they're looking to make, becoming a supervisor a part of their future. And our supervisors in itself, they started from line therapists and worked their way up. So from the time they come to work for CARD, for the most part, they're here for the long run. And another thing is our network. We've worked very hard, especially this year, to establish really good relationships with other top quality providers. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, reading programs, all of those things, so that when families come and inquire about our services or what we have available, we're also able to refer them to other providers for their other needs.
Well, it's remarkable what you guys do. Let's shift topics a little bit and talk about funding, because this is a big issue for parents. They want to know how they're going to be able to get their ABA program funded. You have insurance law on the books there in Chicago. Have you seen families having success getting insurance to pay for their ABA programs there?
To be honest, when the Illinois mandate first passed, it was a little bit of a struggle. A lot of providers, even though, ABA was covered under the policy, they weren't too knowledgeable about what it was. So a lot of the first couple of years was getting out there, educating them, informing them of what we do and what services are supposed to look like. So now I can say that we do successfully work with the majority of providers out there. And the only exclusion are really like the self-funded plans and whether or not they've opted out of the Mental Health Parity Act.
Right. And I especially want parents to know that it can be so overwhelming, right? Getting started, and the insurance thing can be overwhelming, but they can call the offices for CARD. They can call you, and they will actually get some help in knowing what their insurance covers. Is that right, Marisol?
Oh, absolutely. We take care of that verification process for them. If they call, it's really easy. We ask them to fill out a couple of papers, and there's no obligation whatsoever. We can verify for them and get them an answer sometimes within the day, sometimes 2 to 3 days.
Marisol, you've been working with the Center for Autism and Related Disorders for a while. What's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome on this journey as you've been trying to help families with autism?
I would have to say that the number one thing would probably be scheduling. I mean, ABA is meant to be a little bit more intensive than some of the other therapies available. I mean, hours can range anywhere from 10 to 40 hours in a week. And we live in a very fast-paced society now. Everybody's got something to do, somewhere to be. And a lot of our families, they also have, other kids that they have to worry about their activities and then working around school. So you really have to be dedicated and committed, not just as a provider, but as a family, to collaborate those schedules. Yeah. I think that's the most difficult part of, what we do.
Yes, we always joke about it. Because my son had 5 years of intensive ABA, and it was an education in getting a schedule together. And most autism parents can tell you the schedule is the thing that runs the entire family. But it is possible, and the Center for Autism and Related Disorders helps you through. You guys are a whiz at providing schedules that are easy to understand and to know where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be. It's absolutely great what you guys do. I want to know, Marisol, for our viewers, what age ranges do you work with at the CARD Chicago office?
We work with all age ranges from 0 to 21. So I think a common misconception is that services are only available for younger kids, which is not the case. We have programs that can be geared towards older kids, teenagers. We have some families, or we've worked with some kids who are, we had to help them prepare to go away to college, right, or establish independent living skills or build meaningful relationships. So anywhere between the ages of 0 and 21.
Okay. And in terms of the therapist, if somebody is looking for employment and is interested in becoming a CARD therapist, what qualifications do they need? What do they go through? And are you hiring?
We are always hiring qualified therapists. There is, in order to be, to apply, they can go to the Center for Autism website, mm-hmm, or they can contact our office directly here. And what we're looking for as far as a therapist is concerned, I mean, being a therapist, it's no easy feat. Sometimes the days are really, really long. Sometimes the behaviors that they try to manage are a little difficult. And there's a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, it's really rewarding when they see the progress that they're making with the kids. So aside from...
But you guys have an extensive training that prepares them to deal with those kinds of things, right?
Oh, yes. So the standard qualifications are they have to have a degree in psychology or related field, and then 6 months working with children with disabilities. And then we start the training process in which they receive 40 hours of lecture and then 40 hours of practicum field training before they can even work independently with a child. Yeah. And that's after passing a written examination and a field examination. So it's a pretty rigorous training program.
It is, but you know what? It's the best training program that's available. I have seen people, I've actually gone through most of the training process before I started working here. It's not, they don't normally put the parents through it, so don't get worried about that. But it's amazing what you learn. It's absolutely amazing what you learn. And how about in this job market, having those qualifications, being trained by the best ABA provider, you're going to have job security. So if you're looking for a career, I encourage you to check that out. But there's one more thing before we have to let you go, Marisol. I know you guys have something really exciting coming up that families in Chicago should know about. What's happening there?
We have an open house on November 17th. That's a Saturday, where we're inviting everybody who has any questions or is interested in finding out more about CARD Chicago to come and take a visit at our site and meet our staff. And so it's from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Saturday, November 17th.
Okay, and so this is a totally free event for people to come and get information and meet people and ask questions, meet and greet. Can they bring their kids?
Oh, absolutely. We'll have kid-friendly activities and childcare available.
Okay, so if you are in the Chicago area, and I know many of you have written into us lately saying we're looking for ABA, we're in Chicago, November 17th, I want you to go to their Chicago offices. And how do they find out where to go, and how can they get a hold of you, Marisol?
Well, they can contact me at 708-358-3000. That's our general office line.
Okay, say that again for us.
708-358-3000.
Okay. And then if they go to the centerforautism.com and go to locations, go to Chicago, they're going to be able to find the address, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so there it is, www.centerforautism.com. Go to the locations tab. For those of you who are watching who aren't in the Chicago area, I want to remind you that CARD has offices literally around the world. So you want to check and see if there's one close to you, because I tell you, they are what I call the autism miracle in my living room. And so I love you guys because you gave me back my child. So thank you. Marisol, thank you so much. I wish you a beautiful, large, open house with lots of people there.
Thank you very much, Shannon.
And we'll touch base with you in the coming months to see how things are going in Chicago.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you so much for being with us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.